Let's make a cute keepsake with your pet's nose imprint. These are actually very simple to make, and I linked everything that you need in the PDF with the tool guide. You can imprint a nose, a fingerprint, a paw, anything. The star of the show here is the dental silicone putty. Pinch equal parts of that blue and white material and mix them with your hands until they reach a nice uniform blue color. Then you need to flatten it onto some sort of base. It can be a little plate, a lid, anything. And then gently but confidently press it onto your pet's nose. You only need to hold it for a couple seconds. If you're not quite happy with the result of your imprint, you can just do it again with fresh material. Make sure to press firmly but don't hurt your pet. Once you're done, let it set for about 5-10 minutes depending on the product that you have. You'll have instructions. Once the mold is set and solid, you can start working with clay. Take a piece of clay that is big enough to fill your mold entirely. I like to sort of give it a rough shape of the mold with my fingers just so it covers it quite well and I can estimate the size that I need. Clay doesn't stick to silicone, so you don't really need any clay release or olive oil or anything like that. Simply press your clay into the mold and make sure to get all of the details in by pressing it with your finger and making sure that it reached the bottom of your mold. You can also get something flat to press onto this clay to even out what's going to be the back of your pendant. At this point, it will also be useful to roll a little snake from a small piece of your clay to make a bail for your pendant. I didn't wait for it to dry in the mold, I just carefully removed it while the clay was still wet, and look at this cute result. Now we have quite a bit of extra clay all around the nose that I'm going to remove now. You can take any thin blade you have, like for example those utility ones you have lying at home. I'm literally just using a plain card because that's enough here. I'm just going to simply cut it around the nose, repeating its shape, but I also see people doing little hearts from it, and I think that's really cute if you want to try it. I don't worry about the edges here too much because I'm gonna sand them when the clay is dry. So this is what I had in the end. I actually made a few of them because I have 3 dogs. Don't forget to dry them before continuing to sanding. I use regular sanding paper 400 grit, and I just lay the back of the pendant flat onto this sanding paper and go in circular motions to even it out. With a smaller piece of that same sanding paper, I go around the edges to round them up and remove any sharpness. By the way, in the background here, you can also see the bails that I made for this pendant. I'm gonna stop here. You can see it's nice and rounded enough. This is a totally optional step, but I just wanted to carve out the name of my dog onto the back of the pendant. I'm using an etching tool that is linked in the products, but also you can just use a needle. To be honest, I've done this before and it works fine. Thicker needles work better because you can hold them easier. And just dust off the mess that we made. And now you just need to attach the bail that you made so that you can wear it on a chain. I use clay tack that is also linked in the products, but you can also use silver clay paste. You can make your own paste and that's described in the handbook. Put a little bit of clay tack or clay paste in the place where you want to attach your bail. And then you need to press your bail firmly there and wait for like a minute for it to set and dry. This is what my bail looks like, by the way. It's just a simple loop from a clay snake. Once you waited for a minute or so, you can let go and it should stay in place. It's still fragile at this point, so be careful. I added clay paste all around the joint just to make it stronger and waited for it to dry. And then when it's dry, you can sand it to remove all of those seams. There are very detailed videos on all of that if you need in the beginner's course. And now it's ready for firing. Make sure that it's bone dry before you fire it. I'm just using a fire brick and a simple butane torch that I just picked up in the hardware store. All of this stuff is in the tool guide if you need it. With this size, I would recommend firing it for 3-4 minutes at that really nice orange salmon glow. You have to polish it just a little bit for the patina solution to work, otherwise it just won't stick. You can absolutely skip the patina altogether if you don't want to do it, but it just brings out all of that texture of the nose that we created. Let me explain what's happening here. What I'm using here is sulfur ointment, and I'm aware that it's not available in many countries, so I will give you other solutions too. In some places they sell it as a remedy for some skin issues or something like that. But essentially it's sulfur and it makes silver go dark. You need to evenly coat your piece in it, making sure that you get into all of the crevices. And then one thing I found out, for it to work, you need to blast it with heat from a hair dryer, and then you will watch it go darker and darker, because on its own, I think it just doesn't work or takes forever. But you'll probably be using a sulfur gel. It's linked in the tool guide. Read instructions, but essentially you put a few drops into warm water and create this yellow solution. It's very stinky. and then you dip your piece in and out of the solution until it reaches the desired darkness level. I'm just showing you this video of a ring I made just to illustrate this example of how to use sulfur gel. Now, very important, you have to neutralize the sulfur solution that's on your jewelry. It is super simple. You just need a glass of warm water and put some baking soda in it, like literally the one from your kitchen. Mix it until it dissolves and put your jewelry piece in it and just mix it together. Leave it there for a couple of minutes. Pause this video just to read all of the instructions and make sure that you do it right. That stops your piece from oxidizing further and essentially stops the chemical reaction here. And now your piece will look very dark like this, and you can just leave it like that. But I'm going to polish it just so that darkness only remains in the little crevices of the nose. You can use polishing papers, you can use radial discs with your rotary tool. I'm using silicone burrs here. All of this stuff is linked and described in the tool guides as usual. I think polishing papers or silicone burrs work really well here because they can't accidentally get into those little crevices and remove the darkness that we want to keep. And you're done. This is what I have. It's so cute. I made so many of them and I love them all. Please share what you made on the feed. You can use the share your creations category when you're making the post. I would absolutely love to see the cute keepsakes that you guys made.